Okay everyone, it's Sunday the 14th. I've got some new caliper seals and I have those fitted. I was trying to cheap out by reusing the old ones, which is not recommended, and it didn't work anyway. I think one of them was stretched, so as I tried to put the piston back into the caliper, it caught up and ended up ragging the seal around a bit and breaking it. So anyway, the moral of the story is definitely buy new caliper seals. So yeah, we've got the piston steel obviously lower down in that, and then the dust seal at the top. The piston is now all the way in. I've been having another look at the brake pads that came out, and I've cleaned them up a little bit. And now I've cleaned them up a little bit, you can see the wear groove indicator a little bit more clearly. It's hard for me to show, but I think there's a few miles left on those, so I am going to reuse those. I may as well get the wear out of them before I replace them. And the additional bonus is it saves a little bit of money, which means there's more money in the pot for something else more interesting. So what I'm going to do now is get the pads fitted back in, get the caliper back on the bike, and then may or may not today look at putting some brake fluid in there. There's none in there at the minute, it's completely empty, so that will definitely need doing before I go anywhere. But yeah, for now we'll put the pads back in. In other news, what have I been doing this morning? I have been putting the bike back together. So if you remember, the front end was all apart. We've done the fork seals there, we've done the headstock bearings, all the clocks, lights, everything was all off. That's what we've been doing basically. So the whole thing's back together now. You can see we've not got the mudguard on yet because I am debating painting this machine. We're going to see how far the budget stretches. But at the moment the mudguard's not on, but everything else is back together. So we've got a new fork oil, all that's nice and clean, all back together. Lights, got the funky windshield, which if you remember right back at the beginning had a big L learner sticker on it. That came off quite nicely actually, so we're reusing that. That's good. Clocks are all back on, handlebars are on the right way around, you'll all be pleased to know. So she's looking pretty good. Obviously the rest of it is completely stripped down, but the front end, bar these brake pads, is done. So we're just going to finish up at the front end and then move backwards. As for these pads themselves, they did have a bit of rust on. I've just taken a wire brush to the back there and round the edges. I might paint them. It's purely aesthetic, it doesn't really serve any purpose, but I've been working hard to get the front end of the bike looking nice. I've painted a few bits, I've done quite a little bit of cleaning, and I don't know, it's just a feeling. I feel like putting grubby parts back on might not be the answer, so I've got some paint. I might just do a quick lick of paint just to tidy that up. As if by magic. There we are. A little better, don't they? Right, let's get them put in then. It's dead easy. Take this brake pad. You can see the holes line up there, can't you? So put that one in there, thusly. This one goes this way. There you go. Now you need these things. One goes in there, it goes through the pad. That one goes in the other side. And then you use your Allen key, which is a 5mm Allen key, to screw those in. So that's what I'll do now. Right, they're all screwed in. You can see the pads, I've got one on that side, one on this side. I just used a little screwdriver to create that gap, which means I can now slot that over the caliper. Caliper. Going over the disc. The disc is in between the two pads. That is important if you're planning on stopping. Now I've got the bolts. You can put a little bit of thread lock on these, and it's just a case of lining those up, getting those engaged. And then tightening those down to the right torque. So what's the correct torque, I hear you ask? Well, it's 20 pounds-feet. Right, next we've got to put the brake line back on. So we've got the bolt thing for here, the union bolt. There are, on this, if I can get them, 2 washers. Count them, 1, 2. So you put one on the bolt, like that, and that goes through the union, and you put the other washer on this side, so there's a washer on either side, and then you begin to attach that to the caliper itself. There's a little nubbin on the caliper which holds this union in the correct place. So we need to tighten that down, and again there's a torque setting for that. Off the top of my head, I don't know what it is. I found the answer. It's 25 pounds-feet. So these are 20 and this is 25 pound-feet. Right, well that's the caliper back on the bike, and there's no brake fluid in. I'll do that on another day and I'll do a separate video on that. I'm just looking at it now and deciding what to do next. We've not done anything on the rear of the bike yet, so we've got a new chain and sprockets to put on. We've got the wheel bearings to check. We may or may not take the swing arm off, to be decided. Also to be decided, and you can help on this, there's some debate about whether to paint this bike. It's quite a nice blue at the moment, but it's seen a little bit of love, so I'm not really sure. If you've got any opinions on if we should paint the bike, please let us know. And if you do think we should paint the bike, please let us know what colour you think we should paint the bike. I can't promise that we will paint it that colour, but let us know, we might decide. You might come up with an idea that we've not thought of yet. So hopefully that video has been helpful for you, and we'll carry on with this series very soon. So we'll see you next time.